Today we're going to talk about Italy's fastest growing watch brand, Venezianico. This Nereide Tungsteno is one of the most beautiful releases to date. Find out how they pull it off and how this watch is the soul of Venice. Wow, how dramatic, isn't it? This video is brought to you by Venezianico. Inspiration comes from many forms and places. In this watch from Venezianico, Venice is the form and place of inspiration. The mere mention of the name evokes romance and beauty, and this Nereide Tungsteno is a delicately executed pleasure at virtually every facet. Some witty people out there might contest my credentials and perception of beauty. All I can say to those people is, the likes of Sophia Loren and Monica Bellucci require no exploration regarding what is beauty. They simply are. I don't need a master's degree to know that. On the wrist, this Monica Bellucci of quality divers effortlessly wraps itself around you. The modestly narrow links provides ample sizing options even for cups under 7 inches. If you feel like undressing this watch, a 22mm fabric strap may suit your needs. Some of the shiny elements may clash against this kind of band, so select them in good taste. Venezianico is happy to help you out in this department as they will include an extra rubber strap for the pre-order round. The beauty of watch bands nowadays is that every brand tries to capitalize on the market, so it's not uncommon to take other brands' leather straps and fit it here on the Tungsteno. My Bolido chronometer was more than willing to share their straight-cut ostrich strap that provides a contrasting texture against the polished surfaces of this diver. Straps that lack a tapering form tends to make the watch feel and wear larger. This 42mm watch already wears large, and this strap certainly adds more heft visually. However, I must be out of my mind to even think that other straps are better than this gorgeous bracelet. This is simply one of the classiest bracelets I've ever handled. Seriously. It will all start to make sense as you explore some of the things that comes with the watch. The well-built box, the clever map of Venice, and the elegant paperwork are all thoughtfully designed. The choice of Acelita caliber is also very much pleasing here. There is a certain grace whenever this movement performs compared to other, more raw counterparts from the East. This crown is properly threaded to ensure its 200-meter water resistance. The bezel action is also a joy to work with, and care is given not just on the retention but also on the sound. One of the highlights of this piece is how the bracelet is a labor of love. I've always questioned the aesthetics of clasp-on bracelets. To me, it breaks the lines too much. This one is special. Its discreet push buttons and elegantly branded end link binds this tapering bracelet in style. I mentioned earlier how beauty requires no examination, but I don't mean we're not going to have a closer look anyway. With this kind of design, it's simply irresistible not to be this intimate. The sunburst lines draws you to the center, while the subtle taper instinctively pulls you down to the deployment. The contrast in finishing registers the amount of thought and work given to leading lines. Beauty comes at a price though. With this amount of polished surface, your oily fingers will inevitably leave its mark everywhere. You're gonna have to pay your videographer extra with this thing. But that's all worth it. This bracelet alone is worth the price of admission. It has elegant lines and fantastic light play. It's also got a progressive profile with its polished center links. All this culminating to the brand's iconic logo. Another well-thought-out element is the caseback. The Tungsteno used a fixed, screwed-on caseback to ensure that the submarine image is always at the upright position. The dial exhibits the same dedication to refined design. The applied cross and indexes attracts all the right attention. The Anthracite dial amazingly dazzles while absorbing shadows on certain situations. This creates a remarkably legible watch despite its shiny, glamorous nature. All the texts are done in Italian, which completes that overall romantic presentation. Even when the mood does become a little more romantic, the lume will be there to give you some ambient lighting. It bears mentioning that the specs are more competent than you think. The dimensions are 42mm in diameter, 49mm in lug distance, and 22mm in lug width. The water resistance is a diver-worthy 200 meters with a screw-down crown, and the case thickness is 12.6mm. The bezel is unidirectional, with 120 clicks, and loom is applied on the pit. The movement is a Sellita SW200-1 caliber that operates at 28,800 beats per hour, has a 41-hour power reserve, and can be manually wound. The star of the show is the tungsten insert. Aside from sounding like an exotic superhero material, this truly is a scratch-proof metal. It melts at 3400 degrees Celsius and is one of the rarest metals on Earth. If one wonders why not use ceramics instead like everyone else, well, that's because this one looks more metal than glass while keeping its scratch resistance. Priced at over $700 with a limited run of just 350 units, it's more likely to sell out before you even finish watching this video. I felt I was late to the party that already started, but after learning more about Venezianico, it now feels like discovering the lost city of Atlantis. The Nereide Tungsteno is Venice represented. It's affordable luxury, environmentally supportive, and community-oriented. But what really sweeps me off my feet is the overall design language. Venetian art has a heavy emphasis on deep tones, arching geometry, and embracing of light. Values that paints the Nereide a distinct Venetian soul. An approach that not only delivers an impressive product, but an idea that transcends commerce. This is a watch that comes from a brand that renamed itself for the sake of reaching people outside its Venetian borders. And like all great art, and its tungsten-bearing bezel, the Nereide Tungsteno will keep time to inspire the next generation. So there you go, that's the Nereide Tungsteno from Venezianico. It may be too late by the time you see this video, but if you check out their website, if there's still room for a pre-order, just pre-order this beautiful watch. You'll never be disappointed, and it's something that will really last for a long time, especially with that tungsten bezel insert. What do you think? Comment down below and we'll be interested in what you have to say, because that's what we do. We have interest in what you say. But do we really comment on all of the comments, Josh? Okay. Well, I may not be able to comment on all of the comments, but we're interested in them. Send them anyway. Send them in anyway. You know, I only used to see this brand's watches as advertisements in Facebook and in Instagram, but now I'm really happy to finally review one on hand. They used to be called Mécanique Venetian. Just my Italian is so bad. Sorry to all Italian fans out there. I need my Italian lessons. Today we're going to talk about Venice. No, not Venice. I'm not going to talk about Venice. When a watch is said to have its own personality, it really means that it doesn't have to be. What does it really mean? What did I even say that?